First time out fishing in 2024. It's probably been about 3 months since I've been fishing. Looking at the forecast yesterday, it looks like the river's going to be still up a little bit. I think it was about 0.99 this morning, a broken scar. So expecting it to be a bit tough wading. Just got the trotting outfit, hoping to get some grayling. That's the usual quarry at this time of year down here. Trying the new action camera out today for the first time, which is on a strap around my neck. First time out with the new reel as well, which is a Daiwa TDR. Normally either use a closed face or a centre pin, so something a bit different today. I think I might actually leave the island swim for a bit later on. What I'll probably do is backtrack back up this behind me on this path here, which takes you up to the pub just near the bridge. It's normally a banker peg, but let's see how we get on today. I've actually remembered the keys today as well for the upper gate, so I don't have to climb over it. First time for a few things today. I've actually got some new wading boots as well, which has the traditional rubber sole rather than the felt sole, which probably isn't as slip resistant. This bit looks fairly shallow, so we'll have a go getting across. No. Yeah, we'll have a go getting across this bit, I think. Like somebody's put some paving slabs in to try and make the passage across the river a bit easier. Oh, that wasn't too much of an ordeal. See, all the snowdrops have started coming out. Pint of red, pint of white maggots with me today. Normally just go for red, but fancied a change to mix it up a bit. Using this Shakespeare bum bag. Normally use a bait apron, but it's better, easier access, bigger pockets to get your hands in. It's got a couple of handy loops for your catapult. So just about to get some bait on and we'll start fishing. So just a couple of red maggots onto probably, I don't know, an 8-inch bottom, which I think is about £3. Started using these, I think Maver make them, like micro swivels. They stop tangling up and they're absolutely tiny. I think that's a size 20. A couple of number 6s, two locations, probably 6 inches apart, and then just typical button shot pattern up to a wood lignum float. Probably got about 4 foot of depth on it. Trusty Drennan Acolyte rod. This one's the 14 foot version. I've got a 17 foot, but it can be a bit difficult down here getting in and out between the trees. So let's see how we get on. Hopefully not too many snags and lots of grayling. So first time out with this reel. Never really had a go at sort of feathering the line off the spool, but first time for everything. Not actually in the floor there, but you never know. There might be some grayling just sat at the bottom, just out of the floor. It's always worth giving it a try. Oh, fish. Feels like a good one. Could even be a trout, I'd suggest. Taking line off. Yeah, it's gone quite far downstream already. Yeah, definitely a trout. Ah, it's got off. That felt heavy. In fact, it's actually snapped my trace at the bottom. Nightmare. After just being broke off, I'm stepping up a bit now, which to £3 8oz bottom on the 16. Hopefully we won't get snapped off on that. Right, tackled back up after licking my wounds, after just losing that decent fish probably 5 minutes ago. I suspect it was a good sized out of season brown trout. At this time of year, every time you come, you seem to get a decent trout, sort of between £2 or £3. But then actually when the trout season starts, which is in roughly another month's time, the big trout seem to disappear, which is a bit annoying. But there we go. We'll get it back out and see if we can get a grayling. It was probably just on the edge of the current when I got a bite on the last cast. I don't think the same fish will come back again, because trout have a habit of once they're being pricked, that's it. Messed up myself there a bit with the drag. Obviously it's a new reel, so I'm not used to the drag system. Supposed to be a quick adjust drag on this, where only a small fraction of a turn really tightens it up or slackens it off. And I went from being too slack there with not enough drag to too much, and that's probably why it came off. But there we go. Normally come here with my mate Adam Chumley. I was here a few weeks back and had quite a lot of success. I think the conditions, the water was a bit lower than what we've got at the minute. Unfortunately he couldn't make it today, he's on kid minding duties. Messaged me this morning to show me a picture of the current river level. At that point I'd already started packing my gear up and I was intent in coming having a fish, because I say it's been a while. Getting used to this reel already. Using my middle finger now to feather the line off rather than the smaller finger nearer the thumb. I'm assuming that's what you're supposed to do anyway, because it feels a lot more comfortable. And so far I don't think it's any harder using a fixed spool than the centre pin. Or the Abu closed face reel, which can be a bit temperamental. The drag's not particularly good on them. I think this thing I've got here, this reel, will probably hold, well, I think you can land any fish on this thing. It's caught the bottom again there. Obviously some weed and crap just at that point. Get some more bait out. Just above the bridge there, that's the Snowhall estate. A few years ago I was fortunate to fish that bit for free, on permission of the owner, but I believe now it's a syndicate water for only 12 anglers. Decent salmon up there. I'm led to believe that Ian Botham's one of the syndicate members as well. Whether that's true or not, I'm sure. Don't particularly want to go wading any deeper than where I currently am, because it's a hard rocky bottom. When the water's clear you can clearly see a bit further out that there's just ledges and drop-offs. So for safety I think I'll just stick near the bank. There's probably only 3 swims we actually fish at Piercebridge. There's this pool where I'm currently fishing now, sort of the island, which is another 500 yards downstream, just off the tip of the island, and then probably another, oh that was a good bite, oh, I missed it, and then probably another 700, 800 yards further down that, where there's a tail of a pool, which always normally yields results. Only really intend fishing for about 3 hours a day, so I'll probably spend about an hour in each one and then call it a day before the rain comes this afternoon. I think that's scheduled about 4 o'clock, and I think it's going to be quite heavy. It'll probably ruin my chances of playing golf in the morning, I would suspect. Time's currently 11:54. Honestly thought I would have had a grayling by now, but typically I'm pretty impatient. Oh, got a fish. Again, it's a big one. Stripping the line off, I wonder if it's the same one. I didn't see the float go under it, just, yeah, definitely a good fish again. Saw it top then. Hopefully I can keep it on this time. I suppose there's always an outside chance, even the salmon at this time of year. Stripping line off like crazy. Don't fancy me chances somehow with this. Don't want to overdo the clutch. I've actually got a micro barb on this hook, which might help, and I think the main line's 5 or 6 pound. Starting to make a bit of headway on it, ever so slightly. It's still quite a long way downstream. After all this bravado, it'll probably only be about a ½ pound grayling. It's just in front of me now, by the looks of things. If it is a trout, they normally come to the top and try and shake the hook with a couple of big lunges. Go on, show yourself. Yeah, trout, tell by the tail. I think quite a big flattish tail on it. Yeah. Decent trout, it's not a monster. So probably it's going to be over £2. It's getting the old net ready. And it's in the net. Obviously this time of year with them being out of season, you don't want to take them out of the water, which I'll try to avoid doing. Yeah, not a bad trout. Say probably about 16-17 inches long. Lovely spots on it. Hook just in the lip. Hooking it up as per usual. There we go. So this is the second swim at Piercebridge I've fished. I've fished up near the George pub closer to the bridge. I've had a decent out of season brown trout up there, which should have seen earlier. Down in the second swim by the island, we normally fish off the point just behind me there. Only had one trout up to now, which is a bit disappointing. Typically speaking, when we fish this spot, we get probably a dozen grayling each in fairly quick succession. We'll keep on plodding away. The weather's not too bad today, quite mild. The water's fairly clear, not too deep. Just wondering where the grayling are. Right, we're down in the island swim that I was talking about. Depending on how it fishes, I might just stop here to tell you the truth, because the other peg is round that bend, and probably another 500 yards past that, but we'll see. So this is normally the best spot, and generally speaking, touch wood, we're a bit disappointed if we don't get at least a dozen grayling each. Easier fishing here, just basically let the float go straight down stream in a straight line with you. No catapult required, just put the maggots on the line of the float and then that's it. Easy to see the float as well with the colour of the sky on the water. It's silver, so the contrast on the float's pretty good. Just looks black. Just a dozen or so maggots every 30 seconds and hopefully they'll get on the feed. Like being a bait, I think. It's quite choppy, the water, even though it's not very windy. In fact, there's hardly any wind. Getting across the stream there, just to the right. It's fairly easy, no more difficult than it normally is. Probably only just up to thigh height. So let the maggots catch the float up and off we go. So it normally takes 15-20 minutes from experience for the fish to start gaining interest and coming in. And then you can typically have probably an hour and an hour and a half good fishing, and then for whatever reason drops off and then you don't catch many more, and then you typically got to move on. Sometimes when we come, we give it an hour and a half here, move on, and then come back. Right, yep, we're in. Don't say it's another trout. Second line again. That feels like a grayling. It's too thrappy, I think, to be a trout. Don't really like putting much force on grayling because they've got really delicate mouths. It's easy for the hook to pull, so I typically take my time. And often they can feel a lot bigger than they actually are when they first make some surging runs. Reveal yourself. It's another bloody trout. I think, yeah, not a very big one. Oh, float didn't go under. There's a fish on. Feels tiny. Well, it's pulling well now. Maybe not as small as I thought. Haven't seen sight of it yet. It was like a Wacazette to start with, and it's starting to fight now. Yeah, another trout. Doesn't want to give in, this one. They're a bad fish. So well over a pound. Right, just on to the third and final swim of the day. Just finished at the island, a couple of trout there. No grayling, just starting to spit. I think this is the weather. This is the weather and the rain that we were expecting to start later on in the afternoon. All this bit of river here never really had much luck. It's just all a bit bland. It's a bit shallow. There's another island a bit further up. Again, sometimes have the odd fish this side of the island. The inside to the right of the island's too fast to fish. And then there's a nice pool just past the island called the Maiden Pool. Again, looks really fishy. Used to be good once upon a time, but never had much luck in the last few trips we've been there. In the past I've had some nice chub when you used to be able to get across to the island. Just on the far side there's a deep run, but never had a chub here, probably in 20 odd years. So this is the third and final swim. I've 3 or 4 casts so far and yet to get a bite. There's a guy about 100 yards upstream from me who's there with the fly rod and a salmon rod, same as me. Just had a couple of trout and no grayling. So this is the final attempt for a grayling. Hopefully float will go down shortly and I'll be into one. This water at Piercebridge is part of the ATDAC water. Might get this wrong, but I think that stands for the Association Teesside District Angling Clubs. So to fish this water you've got to be a member of one of the other local clubs. And that includes the likes of Thornaby, Middlesbrough, Stokesley, Stockton. There's probably a couple of more. I can't remember at this moment in time. Did I say Middlesbrough? I'm not sure whether I did. But they've got this stretch at Piercebridge, and then they've got a couple of other stretches just a bit further downstream, out towards where that farm is in the distance. It's all good water, but typically it's mainly trout and grayling until you get down as far as Dinsdale, which is quite a bit further downstream. Some good water there, and that too tends to be more sort of dace, chub, perch and roach. Had some good days down there. Hope to again this year. Just need for it to stop raining, as it seems to have done nothing but rain for the last 3 months. Not only has it ruined my fishing, but it's ruined the golf as well, which I've taken up again and enjoyed playing. at Saltburn. I think I've only played probably 3 times in the last 3 months, and it's only been open a handful of days, and when it has been open it's only just been a reduced number of golf holes. Hoping to play tomorrow, but this rain that's due to come in tonight, it's going to put pay to that, but we'll live in hope.